The life of Karma Akabane. Karma Akabane is a student in Korosensei's Class 3E of Kunugigaoka Junior High School who has been suspended from school due to his violent behavior and one of Nagisa's closest friends. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Karma Akabane. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Early life. Karma comes from a wealthy family, as his parents are successful financial day traders. They are free people who spend most of their time traveling around the world, and as a result, they spend little time with Karma. For a long time, Karma had been a rebellious student with a problematic attitude. However, due to his good grades, his homeroom teacher had supported him, and proclaimed that as long as you are in the right, Sensei will be on your side. In his first 2 years at Kunugigaoka, Karma had been friends with fellow classmate Nagisa Shiota. He first approached Nagisa when he saw the latter reading an article about Karma's favorite film director adapting a comic book and invited Nagisa to watch with him. For a short time, the two hung out together, with Karma being able to be less guarded with Nagisa. One day at a fast food outlet though, Nagisa unintentionally was able to sneak up on Karma. This made Karma feel exposed and vulnerable since Nagisa could have struck and killed him in that moment, and he wouldn't have been able to react in time, something the strong and capable Karma wasn't used to. Karma sensed a mysterious but sinister feeling from Nagisa, but he realized that he doesn't know how to deal with this, having been used to beating his problems with his fists. As a result, Karma distanced himself from Nagisa. By the time of his suspension, the relationship reverted back to just being classmates. One day, Karma had found a senior from Class E being bullied and had jumped to the rescue, severely injuring the main building's third year in the process. Convinced that he was still in the right, Karma was shocked when his homeroom teacher told him that he was in the wrong. His teacher then further elaborated that he had no right to protect a worthless piece of trash from Class E, and instead injured a fellow student with a bright future, and told him that starting his third year, he would be dropped to Class E. This caused the teacher's worth to die in Karma's eyes, as well as causing Karma to stop caring about teachers in general and instead focused on doing what he wanted. Introduction: Karma time! Karma was still in suspension when Korosensei first arrived. However, he was briefed by a Ministry of Defense spokeswoman of the situation currently going on in his class. He makes his debut in Chapter 3, reuniting with his friend Nagisa, though the two communicated like visiting guests. Seeing Korosensei, Karma politely introduces himself and holds out his hand to shake. When Korosensei obliges, his tentacle fingers splatter, shocking him and the students. Karma reveals his hand to contain sliced pieces of the same material as that of the anti-sensei knife, making him the first person to have injured his unkillable teacher. Throughout his first day, Karma continually agitates Korosensei, one instance stealing the latter's Italian gelato and pranks him, but Nagisa worries that this will come back to hit Karma hard. Get it? Like karma? The next day, Karma's next attempts backfire as Korosensei is now constantly on watch and gives Karma constant manicures. Eventually, Karma resorts to suicide by jumping off the mountain as a way to destroy Korosensei's reputation if he decided not to save him, based on his previous experience with his former homeroom teacher. Korosensei does save him, also avoiding Karma's hidden BB gun, and gets Karma to see how far his new teacher will go to educate him. Karma concedes defeat for the time being and becomes another ally for Class E. First semester. Karma saw the arrival of their new English teacher, Irina Yelovich. However, her arrogance and self-pride would later cause the class to initially call her Bitch-ne-san. They later settled for Bitch Sensei, or in English, Professor Bitch. When the midterm exams were held, most of Class E failed to get into the top 50 due largely to the principal changing the scope of the exam. However, Karma effortlessly ranked 4th despite the changed questions and declared that he would not transfer to the main building as assassinations are much more enjoyable. During the Kyoto school trip, Karma was invited by Nagisa to join him alongside Kaede Kayano, Manami Okuda, Tomohito Sugino, and Yukiko Kanzaki. While scouting for possible sites for assassinating Korosensei, the group was ambushed by high school delinquents. Despite Karma's desire for battle, the boys were overpowered, resulting in Kayano and Kanzaki's kidnapping. With help from Korosensei's extensive guidebook and the octopus himself, Karma got his vengeance as he, Nagisa, Sugino, and Okuda, who hid herself during the ambush, defeated the delinquents and saved the girls. That night, when the boys ranked their female classmates, Karma was asked which he liked. He answered Okuda, adding the reason being the opportunity to experiment around with questionable mixtures, to the ire of his classmates. Also that night, Ryo Nakamura proposed to the girls to talk about the ones they like in the class. Tokayada later said that Karma Akabane would be on top with good looks alone, then replied by the girls saying that if only he was a little behaved. Manami later said that he's not really scary though. Then Kaide Kayano immediately replied that he's usually pretty quiet. Karma saw the arrival of two transfer students, Ritsu and Otona Horibe, who both failed in killing Korosensei despite their enhanced abilities, though Otona notes that Karma was the strongest in class. He participated in the baseball exhibition game against the Skilled Baseball Club, where he provoked the audience and the club members themselves as his contribution to Class E winning the match. Although not present when Akira Takaoka arrived in his short stint as PE teacher, skipping his class, he later on praised Nagisa's assassination, saying that he would have liked to see it. Karma played a vital role when Itona and his guardian Shiro made a second attempt at Korosensei's life, having created a strategy for Ryoma Terasaka and Class E to thwart their plan. In preparation for the end of semester exams, Korosensei promised to let any student destroy a tentacle, provided that they place first in any subject. Karma adopted a lazy approach, believing he will ace the exams no problem. As such, he ignored Korosensei's concerns and didn't join his classmates in study sessions or in helping out win a bet with Class A. This approach causes Karma to bomb out in the math exams against Gakushu Asano, dropping from 4th to 13th overall. Korosensei whimsically mocks him for his attitude, further angering Karma and causing him to storm off. Fortunately, Class E won their bet against Class A and won a holiday vacation to Okinawa. Yuma Isogai, Ryo Nakamura, and Okuda each scored first in their respective subject. However, Terasaka and his group demand their share, each tied for first place in home economics. At Chiba's egging, Karma snaps out of his depression and calls out Korosensei's feeble bluff, horrifying their teacher that 7 tentacles will be destroyed instead of 3. Assassination Island Arc. Arriving at Okinawa, Karma helped the class prepare for the upcoming assassination by scouting underwater to determine the location's suitability. When the attempt does happen later in the night, Karma was one of the 4 that pulled the hut apart via speedboat to trap Korosensei. Despite the perfect synchronization of the class's plan, Korosensei pulled out his trump card when he detected the shots from Chiba and Hayami mere milliseconds before they landed, and protected himself with an unbreakable crystallized barrier that will hold for 24 hours until he returns back to normal form. However, it costs him his mobility, which Karma uses to psychologically torment the teacher by showing him embarrassing pictures of himself or putting sea slugs on the barrier. Later, when half of the class collapses from exhaustion and fever, Karma and the rest of the healthy students infiltrate the Mountain Hill Hotel, where the mastermind behind the illness is staying at, to retrieve the antidote to the virus. Early on, Irina stays behind to distract the numerous guards in the lobby, while Karasuma is affected by the paralysis gas despite defeating the creator Smog, leaving the students to essentially fend for themselves. The group comes across another assassin named Grip, barring their way further. Initially wanting to fight barehanded, his desire fell after seeing Karasuma incapable of fighting and elects to call for reinforcements. Karma, however, destroys his phone with a nearby pot plant, mocking the hitman for running away from a group of high school kids and goads him into fighting him. Grip obliges and the two begin combat. Karma uses the movements he learned from Karasuma to dodge Grip's attacks, knowing that a single grab means defeat. Eventually, Karma goes on the offensive and kicks Grip in the groin. The hitman turns away, seemingly stunned, until he sneakily fires a gas spray when Karma prepared the finishing blow. Karma collapses and is caught in Grip's grasp. But when his opponent faces in the direction of the students, Karma retaliates with a second gas spray, revealing that he thought the exact same thing, having nicked a canister off Smog earlier. Grip gets angry and charges Karma with his knife, though the latter easily disarms him and had Terasaka and the other boys pin Grip down and tie him up. Korosensei in the class sees how far Karma has come since tasting defeat at the final exams, though they take it back when Karma celebrates his victory by pouring spicy mixtures through Grip's nostrils. The class continues upwards until finally reaching the top floor. There they discover the mastermind to be Akira Takaoka, who wanted to claim the 10 million yen bounty as well as revenge on the class, in particular Nagisa, for the humiliation he had to endure since returning to the Ministry of Defense. Takaoka leads the group to the helipad, with Karma and the class forced to watch Takaoka humiliate Nagisa. He then blows up the antidote, making Nagisa rage in despair to fight and kill Takaoka. However, Terasaka and Korosensei manage to calm Nagisa down. When Takaoka and Nagisa are fighting, Takaoka easily lands hits on Nagisa, making Karma want to join the fray, though Terasaka stops him. Karma watched Nagisa defeat Takaoka using his newly acquired Nekodamashi technique. During the reformed Korosensei's test of courage, Karma admitted to Okuda that he's afraid of not being afraid, and notes that Nagisa's calm attitude right after he defeated Takaoka was as if nothing happened at all. He then thinks that not being capable of being on guard nor afraid can be the scariest thing of all, but affirms that he will be the one who takes Korosensei's life. Second semester. Karma takes a backseat role for much of the second semester. He takes part in Korosensei's Cops and Robbers games to test out their newly learned free-running skills, where he participates in a plan along with Nagisa and Sugino to hide in the pool for the last minute, allowing the students to win as Korosensei is unable to dive underwater without harming himself. Karma participates in the Botaoshi against Class A, where Class E's unconventional tactics and Isugai's leadership gave them the victory over Class A despite their numerical superiority. The free-running skills would later get the class into trouble as the midterm exams approached, and Korosensei had forbidden everyone from studying as a way to teach them humility. Only Karma studied in secret, enabling him to come second overall and save his classmates from total humiliation. During the God of Death incident, Karma's combat prowess earned him a spot in Team A, though the God of Death still took out everyone, including him, with little effort. Karma returns to the spotlight during the finals arc. With the exams approaching, Gakushu Asano asks Class E to kill his father's teaching philosophy by monopolizing the top 50 ranks. Karma confidently states that he will grab the top spot from Asano. Although he helped tutor the class in math, dealing out corporal punishment in the process, he virtually went up against Asano alone in the final math problem with only a few minutes to spare. Initially perplexed by the question's complexity, he reflects on his surroundings and classmates and realizes that the answer is quite simple. As a result, Karma scores a perfect 500, grabbing the top spot from Asano and the rest of the class being placed within the top 50. During the examination, he reflects that despite him being called talented, he believes his classmates to be talented instead. For example, Nagisa as an assassin prodigy, Sugino for his endearment, Okuda's concentration, and Terasaka's ability to function despite being stupid. The end of the semester takes a dangerous turn as Kayano made a second, more serious attempt to kill Korosensei, ambushing the target with hidden tentacles. Karma attempts to dissuade Kayano with no success and is forced to watch the two battle. Nagisa ended the fight by kissing Kayano, shocking her into passing out. Karma, along with Nakamura, each took a photo of the kiss and teased their friend about it. After the fight, Korosensei reveals his past and how he came to be his present form. Everyone, including Karma, spent the winter break deep in thought and unable to make plans to kill their teacher. Final semester, division time, a battle against a friend. 2 months before the March deadline, the class is still less motivated. However, when Nagisa proposes to find a way to save Korosensei instead of killing him, Karma is the most vocal opponent to it. He accuses his friend of essentially rejecting everything that Korosensei did for them and would dishonor their target of not wanting to kill him. The argument quickly turns violent when Karma insults Nagisa's appearance, and seeing Nagisa's face as he usually looks when he feels insulted, goads his friend into fighting him. Nagisa grabs Karma in a flying triangular chokehold in self-defense, but Karma's combat ability kicks in and is about to retaliate until Isugai, Maihara, and Sugino pull them apart, with Isugai and Maihara barely able to hold back Karma's strength. Korosensei himself intervenes to mediate the situation, and offers the class to sort the schism out by playing a team deathmatch capture the flag style paintball match. Karma sides with the red team, who wish to continue killing the teacher, against Nagisa's blue, those wanting to save him. He unexpectedly takes command of the team, ordering Chiba and Hayami take out Kataoka and Takebayashi respectively to deny blue team tactical options from the start, ends Kanzaki's early kill streak, and has the other members employ hit-and-run tactics against the blue team's defensive strategy. As both sides have their strength cut in half, Karma ponders about Nagisa. Not even the reconnaissance expert, Mimura, was able to detect him. Noting that Nagisa will always attack at the most unexpected time, Karma also tries to remember why he was so irritated at Nagisa. At the same time, when the blue team takes control of the area with only Maihara of the blue team surviving, Karma witnesses Nagisa emerge from his hiding spot and take out Nakamura, Terasaka, Muramatsu, and Yoshida in an instant, obliterating their whole attack strategy. After taking out Maihara, Karma challenges Nagisa to a one-on-one duel, and after reminiscing about their past friendship, their earlier fight continues. The two resume their melee duel, but Karma's knack for combat gives him the upper hand over Nagisa. However, Nagisa was able to disarm Karma of his knife until the latter returned the favor. His beatdown of his friend and allowing himself to get hit makes Korosensei hypothesize that for Karma to unify the class to kill him, he has to ensure complete victory over Nagisa and make him concede defeat. Karma eventually knocks Nagisa off balance with an uppercut and seemingly finishes him with an axe kick. Karma retrieves his knife and approaches his foe to end the duel, until Nagisa suddenly performs the stun clap technique. Expecting this, Karma bit his tongue to weaken the shock as Nagisa stands back up to retaliate. However, the latter catches Karma off guard by throwing the knife filled with his bloodlust at him, causing Karma to focus on it and get caught into an arm chokehold, intending to make Karma lose consciousness. In a vain attempt to throw Nagisa off, Karma finds his discarded knife but chooses not to strike him, much like how Nagisa chose not to gun him down when Karma challenged him. Instead, he surrenders and Nagisa wins the war for the blue team. The two friends reconcile their friendship, dropping the honorifics they used for the entirety of the series in the process, though Karma still continues to tease him. Karasume decides to honor the agreement, but on the condition that come February, the class resume their original goal to kill Korosensei should they fail to find a way to save him. Renewed resolve. Later in the month, the class comes across information that could lead them to save their teacher. However, they need to obtain the data by hijacking the International Space Station. Yes, they need to hijack the ISS. The students infiltrate a launch site and delegate Karma and Nagisa to replace the crash test dummies and hijack the space station. Launching into space, the pair successfully took control of the station, but the inhabitants agreed to copy their findings over on amicable terms. Karma also helped unload the supplies and was impressed enough to state that he will support an increase in the space budget when he grows up. With Ritsu and Korosensei's help, the two boys landed back at their mountain classroom. The class then learns that Korosensei would not explode in March as initially thought, that the chances of it occurring is less than 1%. Although knowing of a solution to save him, they agree to at the very least continue the original mission assigned by the government until graduation. As the entrance exams approach, Karma decides to stay at Kunugigaoka, knowing that with his academic skills he can get any job he wants, and that he likes having to compete with equally academic students like Gakushu Asano. On Valentine's Day, Karma and Nakamura spot Kayano hiding a bar of chocolate underneath her desk. The pair slyly confront her about it, and asked if she intended to give the chocolate to a certain someone. While Kayano tried to brush it off, Karma's photo of Nagisa kissing her immediately embarrasses her into silence. He and Nakamura decide to help Kayano pluck the courage to confess to Nagisa, though their motive was so as to psychologically torture them as their pets. He takes Kayano to spy on other student couples for ideas. When seeing Hazama hand over her bar to Terasaka and his group, Karma lamented that he had not done so sooner as a trick, which involved the chocolate he received from Okuda. To ensure that Korosensei didn't get any love gossip from Nagisa and Kayano, Karma secretly baited their teacher with a photo of Aguri Yakimura in a swimsuit. Because of course that worked. This worked well enough to be considered to use for an assassination attempt. Assassination time, second period. 5 days before the deadline, Korosensei is trapped by the government's Earth Shield and would be killed by its satellite weapon on the day of the deadline. Class 3E, including Karma, were quickly captured by the same men that accosted Yada and held in isolation by the government for their safety. However, following subtle hints from Karasuma, the class begun planning and training for their entry into the mountains. On the night of the deadline, the class escaped their confinement with the aid of Irina-sensei and quickly headed to the mountain to see Korosensei one last time. At the forest, Karma took command of the class, directing the students in taking out the mercenaries one by one. After recognizing one of the men who insulted him, Karma personally tortured him with wasabi, sour spices, and cockroaches so as to lure more prey. The mercenaries' leader Hojo proved to be more troublesome as Karma rushed in to take him out but was knocked back. However, the class's hit and run tactics began to wear Hojo down until Nagisa surprised him with a stun clap technique. Karma and Nagisa both attacked the stunned Hojo together, knocking him out. The two celebrated, but Kaide notices that Hojo is still moving and Terasaka berates the two for celebrating too early. After tying the leader up, the class reunites with Korosensei inside the barrier. The reunion, however, was brutally interrupted by Shiro and the foe god of death, who is now a tentacled monster. The two begin battling Korosensei, and their superhuman powers made Karma and the class realize how helpless they are despite an entire year's worth spent on training to become assassins. To exploit Korosensei's true weakness, Shiro orders the god of death to attack the students. With Korosensei unable to counterattack while saving the students, Kayano intervenes but is quickly impaled through the chest. As Korosensei retaliates, Karma calls on everyone to run away from the fight. Graduation time. Eventually, Shiro and the god of death are defeated and disintegrated, and Kayano is healed by the exhausted Korosensei, who collapses afterward. After teachers urging the class reluctantly pin him down by grabbing all his tentacles, rendering him immobile, Nagisa volunteers to perform the assassination itself. Before dying, Korosensei conducts a final roll call, with Karma first to respond. After Nagisa finally kills him and Korosensei disappears in particles of light, everyone starts crying, including Karma. Unlike the rest of his classmates, Karma chose to remain in Kunugigaoka after the graduation ceremony, which he did because he wants to duel against Gakushu again for the next 3 years. 7 years later, Karma had just passed his government official entrance exams and arrived to commence work at the Ministry of Economics, Trade, and Investment. Privately, he slyly remarks to himself that this is where he'll start accumulating his wealth and continuing his ambition to become a bureaucrat. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon to be notified about our latest videos.